Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. You know, sometimes, you have a team. You have all of these great people that's working with you, and they always gonna do their job. But there are certain people on your team that, wow, once everybody get into that flow, things just go right. And I'm gonna start off a little differently, but I tell you what, we got an absolutely fantastic guest coming your way today. She's been on the show several times, and she's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. And I tell you what, she bring it, and she gonna bring it today with the title of the show. Today is Foreign Life Sequel. Sometimes we have to change. We just don't always just go in order. And a lot of times when we start off with certain things, it don't always go right. So I just had this other friend on my show, Thursday, and she wrote this song. I can't even get out my head. But the reason I'm gonna play a little bit of it, because when I bring Stacy, Dr. Stacey Bulluck on, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, and I'm gonna show you a little quick. In the meantime, how you doing, Stacy? How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Doing just fine.
God, say a little bit, but that's okay, because that's what happens when you're live. Hi, audience. Everything is wonderful over here.
I just want everybody, I'm gonna open up with this. What if we start off and everything just going wrong, and we get this attitude that, if I'm just gonna follow this right here, even though it's wrong. What happens when you make those mistakes and you fix those mistakes and you get back up? What if it all goes right? Check this out, okay?
What if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks you're climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if that road is a beautiful slow drive? What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that limb holds you oak tree strong? What if this time nothing goes wrong? What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if
Hey, Stace.
Yes.
The way I want to introduce that one because of the title of the show that we got, Fallen Life Sequel. But sometimes, when we try to do that, sometimes we don't always get on the right path. And many times when we on the path where we're trying to follow somebody else or trying to follow somebody else's dreams, and you're not following your own, sometimes we get knocked down, we get beat up, we get frustrated, we get crazy. My point is this: if we concentrate and if we understand that there's a positive and a negative side to everything, and we figure out our own path, not what somebody else wants us to do,
Mhm.
but our own. What if
Mhm.
it all goes right once we get that path going? So, yeah, the title of the show, and then everybody that, yeah, we started out a little bit different today, but Stacy been on the show so many times, best-selling author. I mean, I can't even think of enough adjective to describe this young lady. But I can tell you, this is my little sister, and you know what? She always bring it. Just in case you don't know about her because you ain't been watching the show that much. I think you've been watching the show, but Stacy, she got it going on. She is the founder of Power of Resilience Coaching Agents. She's the president and CEO of Order Steps Incorporation, nonprofit serving homeless women and former incarcerated women veterans. A best-selling author, a transformation speaker. Not just that. Me and her gonna have a spoken word contest one of these. Uh, she's an evangelist, and she's retired from the military. And I tell you, just a extraordinary young lady that's doing so many
Mhm.
things. I didn't even capture half of it because we only got one segment for the intro, and let her tell you a little bit more about her. But Stacey, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit of other things that I forgot to tell you that was on paper?
Hey, it's all good. The important part is, well, first, let me say thank you for always having me on the show and giving me a platform to utilize my voice and my gifts of what I consider as wisdom principles. So we have to uh, keep all of that into perspective when I think about who I am. And this was not an overnight journey to get to the place of finding nuggets and things like the principles of wisdom to incorporate into my daily life. And as I incorporate them, I am building character. And I don't want to get too far into this because that's a little bit about the show topic. But I just know that following the process, it works if we have the right mindset while we're doing it.
And you're absolutely right. Mindset and following the right mindset means so much because we can all get thrown off path. Many of us do. Many of us do. And sometimes, a doctor states, sometimes we get thrown so far off path that we start to walk backwards. We start to go back in the past. And, and,
Ooh.
and guess what? We go back in the past. Like, yesterday was like the last year, 10 years ago, I was, and 30 years ago, and next thing you know, we so far off path that we turn around like, oh, I got, I got to get back in the present. And you start running all the way
Mhm,
back to where you
mhm,
started.
mhm.
But guess what happens? When you get there to the spot, you're still in the past because life did not wait on you. So you spend the rest of your life trying to catch up. So with that being
Mm.
said, let's talk about the title of this show today. Let's talk about falling life sequel. Can you tell our viewers and listeners what do you mean by that?
Well, life, it has its direction for everybody.
Mhm.
All of us have a path. Now, like you said before, we can get thrown off the path, but we can get back on if we choose to. And when we get back on, don't think about what happened in the past. Don't, as you said, don't walk, don't go backwards. I wrote yesterday, and I pulled it up on my phone specifically so that I would not forget what it says. And I wrote, some of us are like toddlers. We are learning to count, but we're skipping numbers. You know how a toddler can count? They'll say one. They might even say two, be going real good. Might even say three. The person who's teaching them is so excited, and then all of a sudden they say seven. And you're like, yo, you skip some parts, and you skip some parts that are going to provide you some strength and some wisdom and some understanding to get to the next point. But so that's what I mean by following life sequence. We can't skip around. We have to stay the course. Hard and happy. Happy, fun, yeah, love that part of it. But the part that's
I gotta
difficult.
say something, Stacy,
Go
because
ahead.
one of the when I'm a lot of time I'm speaking in front of big crowds or whatever, and you mentioned the sequel or numbers, right? And that's the pattern of life, I believe, somewhere. So I remember not too long ago I was speaking, and I was telling the audience and the viewers that this is what I believe. You ever remember that show, Name That Tune?
Yes.
They give you 10 beats. They give you 10 beats to name the tune. A lot of times, I guess you can kind of consider that topics. They give you 10 beats, and most of the time, we want to show everybody how smart we are. And it's like, name that tune, they give you 10 beats. Most of us, they get it like, dun, 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 dun. You got 10 beats. Oh, no, 2 beats. Michael Jackson. All these other type of things. And they continue in life or whatever. So we kind of get thrown off because we used to name a thing quickly. But comes a time where if you don't go through the whole sequel, where you're learning something every step of the way. Gonna come a time in life, just like you use the toddler, the baby, 1, 2, 7, but they babies. I mean, in life, it's the same. Every bit of the pieces of the puzzle, you got to learn a little bit of something else, because I believe it's going to help you out in whatever you decide to do. And so, in a lot of things, my point is, before we take the commercial break, is many times we can't rush it. We have to handle it like a toddler, a baby, teach, learn, because sooner or later you're gonna need all 10 of those beats, and you got to know what that is in order to come up with a survival answer. So we're gonna take a station break on this one, but you led me there. You led me on that one right there, Stacy.
Hey, it's okay.
You know what? When we come back, we're gonna take a station break. I told you, grab your 10, 11 bags of popcorn. When we come back, we're really gonna get off into this subject. I got my great friend, Stacey Bulluck, absolutely fantastic, and we're gonna start talking about a lot of things associated with life sequel, life in general, and some of the things that we must have in our toolbox and have the right mindset in order for us to be the best you be the best you that you can be. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooler. We'll be back with a lot more of Dr. Stacy shortly after the break. chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are. The one that keeps us close when we're apart. Walking from the darkness of all that we've been through. It seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of need.
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's your life, and wow, every time I have Stacy on the show, I just get excited. I probably got carried away a little bit, but that's what she do. She drove you in. Every time I try to get away, she drove me back into the. No, what I'm trying to say is, Stacy, we talking about life. See. And it's a couple of things that you write down. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners and define the variables of what you mean by life sequel? Some of the things that they might want to consider. And I'm just going to turn it over to you. I'm going to sit back and watch.
Oh my goodness. So, life, we talked about what is the variable of life. And I put that as a singular, which is so wrong because life's variables come in many different forms. We have to think about our personality trait, our character, listen to this, our level of awareness. There are some things in life that we are aware of. We grow up knowing about it, but then we become adults or the path starts to curve, and the path will do that. It will curve. And there's something that comes about on the path. I don't know, quite not sure what that is. And that unknown, the unfamiliarity now becomes a variable in your sequence. But we have to be so rooted, so grounded, and trust who we are. And knowing that, okay, if something doesn't go the right way, that doesn't mean that I'm not doing the right thing. That was good. But we have to take these things into account, our behavioral patterns, our decision-making skills. I remember when I was in the military, we used to always say something about, well, one of the leadership skills was sound judgment. Sound judgment, because if it's not stable and firm, then it can be swayed. And I'm saying to us that we need to find a place where we are stable and firm in trusting who we are.
You mentioned sound judgment. That is so, and of course, in the military, we use that a lot. Let me add a little bit more to this sound judgment. Let me call it personal understanding. What I mean by it is a person has to know who they are in order to determine whether there is sound judgment. So self-identification, self-identification, not what anybody else think about you, but self-identification on who you are will give you an understanding. I'm talking about truthful and honest you. I'm not
Mhm.
talking about persona that you show when people are around. You're like, no, I'm this big time college professor, or this, all that bull crap. And I didn't cuss, I said crap. Understanding who you are,
Mhm.
being who you are,
Mhm.
regardless of who's watching you or who's around you. That, I believe, that gives you an understanding, truthful understanding of what your potential is from a mindset perspective.
Mhm.
Because you're not fooling anybody, and you don't want
Right.
to fool nobody. Me and
Yeah.
Michelle, it ain't about fooling nobody. What you see is what you get. I will be the
Right.
same person every single day, whether I'm feeling good, whether I'm sick, whether I'm dead. I might not be as funny in a great mood, coughing and all that. But talk about that one,
But
little
you
Stacy.
still you. And you know what? I'm so glad you brought up how we can act another way.
Mhm.
What I felt when you said that was we get snatched right out of the sequence when we allow ourselves to begin to want to become something that we are not. We get snatched off the sequence so quickly at that point because now your being part of you is confused because the being part of you is what you can make happen. That's all being is. What do you make happen when you show up to whatever it is you show up to, school, work, home? How do you make things happen? That's your being part. That's the part that people gravitate to and love. But I know for sure, without a doubt, when we get outside of that, we are snatched out of, look at this, we are snatched off the path and out of the way of love. Because if we are who we are and we are walking on this path, regardless of, we're going to make mistakes, yes. But when we make the mistakes, it is the love that covers. Man, this is some good stuff right here. I hope y'all listening well. And that just means that if we want to change and become something that somebody else says that we are, or who we believe that they think we should be, we automatically now say, I don't love me the way I am.
Wow. I gotta say something because a lot of people don't love them the way that they are because they don't know who they are. I mean, if you don't know who you are, you can't love you.
No, no,
I
you
mean,
can't.
I always talk about this thing called masterpiece. Masterpiece. God created you for you. When he created you, he broke the mold because you're a masterpiece. You're a masterpiece. But one of the things in understanding that you're a masterpiece, you have to accept who you are. You have to accept the good, the bad.
All
You
of
know,
you.
all of it. I don't like that side over here. No, I don't like that.
Can I say this, Dr. JC? Can I say this? I was remember once, like shortly, not after the pandemic, but right at the end when they first started opening stuff up for everybody to come to. I walked past the mirror and I was getting ready to utter something out of my mouth that I was the only one that had the control to change it. So the stuff that we don't like, we're the only ones that have the ability to follow the sequence of what it takes for us to make the change. For me, it was weight. I don't lose weight like everybody else. I just found now that the what do they call it? Fasting. I don't eat really a lot of food before noon. I eat vegetables and I'm sorry, fruit and drink water. But that works for me. It may not work for everybody, but like I said, I just found that out maybe a couple years ago now. But we have to make sure, like you said, we got to know who we are, all of us. And if you don't like something, then that's saying that, okay, you have the ability to change it. And that builds you more on your path. That gives you more strength to understand who you are. I would never thought 10 years ago that I wouldn't be eating pancakes and fried potatoes and bacon. Ain't nothing wrong with that stuff now. Don't get me wrong. I love it and I will eat it sparingly. But I know what it does to me.
But the bottom line, you just hit it, Dr. Stacy. You just hit it on the nose. You have to know what worked for you. What worked for you might not work for everybody else. You don't need to worry about everybody else. When it comes to, at least I don't sit back and worry about everybody else. Now, I got a great gratitude and a sense of, I just hope everybody's okay. I hope, but sitting back, breaking, I can't sleep because of that. I can't sleep because, you know what? I'm going to get me some sleep. Because I know what's going to make me click. If I'm not taking care of myself and taking care of all the folks around me, I'm not going to be any good with anybody else. So you just brought something up about know yourself. Know yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself before you fear yourself.
Yeah.
And all of those things are so important. But Dr. Stace, we're going to take a station break. But we're going to come back because we just getting whichever platform that you're watching us on, was it E36 TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, over 25 other live streaming networks. Right now, I see that we locked in on a brand new platform called Rumble Rant. Just locked in. So whichever platform you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. And I promise you that Dr. Stacy or myself will get you an answer. Remember, it's your life, and know yourself, love yourself before you share yourself. Here we go.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do. If you can see it here, you can do it. see it with the physical eyes. But if you can see it here, you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. You all are the future leaders of tomorrow. I am a leader. I am a senior. I will be one of the leaders of this world. So, if you know yourself, and if you love yourself, you got the confidence, you can share yourself, you can be who you are. It doesn't matter if you short, tall, fat, big, whatever, black, white, pink, gold, purple. It doesn't matter. You step up with confidence. You are a masterpiece. You are leaders.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Welcome back to James Cooley's Church of Life, and I tell you, Dr. Stacey Bulluck, my great friend, she always bring it, and she think everything out. Just when I say think it out. She think how certain things are going to affect words, etc. Going to not only affect her, but also going to affect you in a positive perspective, because it's all about having a positive attitude so we can have the right mindset. And many times in anything we do, we doubt ourselves. We doubt ourselves because we're not for sure of ourselves. I just played you one of my commercials. Know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you share yourself, and that you're a masterpiece in everything that you do. But if you have self-doubt on all of these things, that's going to be a challenge in being able to have the right mindset and being able to move forward. So, Dr. Stacy, I want to talk about when many people have doubt. They know that they can do certain things, but they doubt themselves. And, if you start doubting yourself too much, you're going to start believing in that. Can you explain to our viewers and our listeners why it's so important to keep the confidence level up in you? Because you know you. If you lack confidence, you're going to have doubt. It's going to be trials and tribulations that's going to come our way. But never doubt who you are, because you know what your potential is. Can you tell our viewers and listeners that might be going down that path right now, thinking about that.
Well, if you're doubting yourself, it's time. You know what? Since you're saying it, Dr. Cooley, I'm hoping that somebody is grabbing hold to just to think about it. Maybe I am doubting myself. Now we need to start paying attention to our behavior, because what we think about ourselves will show up in our behavior. We talked about the variables earlier, and one of the variables is, our personality, our character. It's those things about us that we can't see that really are the drivers of the train or the boat or the plane, whichever one you like to, your choice of travel mode. But if the pilot were to doubt his or her ability to fly the plane, they wouldn't get to the destination. So when we doubt, we are taking our experiences that we had that may not have been so good. The song you played earlier said, what if everything turned out okay? Just what if? Just what if you tried it? And I'm going to suggest that those of you who may be doubting yourself in building who you are and accomplishing and achieving your goals, that you give yourself a small goal. And when you accomplish it, celebrate yourself, because that is going to give you the feeling. First of all, is Maya Angelou who said people, oh, they remember how you made them feel. Uh-oh. They have so many child abductions in Texas, I tell you. And it doesn't stop, even if your phone is on silent, it just comes right through. But if we are making sure that when we cause ourselves to feel happy, and I'm not even going to use the word, excuse me, I'm not going to use the word joyful, because joy is something that we discussed earlier, a while ago on another show, that is inwardly innate. But we have to build that. So we have to build our trust in ourselves to stop doubting ourselves. Just give yourself a little small task to do, accomplish it. If you don't accomplish it when you say you're going to accomplish it, one other thing to as a disclaimer here, do not beat yourself up. Give yourself grace to get up and do it the next day. But don't don't stay on that pattern of, oh, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. No, make tomorrow today. But
And
don't doubt. Mhm.
we have to
Go
do
ahead.
that. We have to do that. And so my thing is, what type of practices?
Mm.
And the flesh is weak, if I must say so, and that we have to bring in where we understand that, okay, things are not going to happen the way that we want them to happen today, or maybe not tomorrow. But I still can't doubt my ability, because I have made an agreement with myself, along with the Lord. I can't do nothing without making an agreement with the Lord, that these are some of the things that I need to focus on, even when it don't always go my way. What are some of your recommendations on practices and making sure that we stay focused and keeping our word to ourselves?
Well, that's definitely for sure a sequence of events. Sequence is things that take place over and over, and they not over and over, but they lead to one another. So, practice of Setting goals is first. When you set the goal, I said it, celebrate yourself. Don't make the goal so lofty that you can't reach it. And an example that I have for that is saving money. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'm going to put $600 away every payday if you only make 7. Have an end result. Have an end result that's attainable. They use the word SMART now. They call them SMART goals. And I don't want to mess it up, but each letter stands for something. But one of the letters, the A, is attainable. Make sure you can actually do it. And if you can't, it's okay. Build yourself to a point where you will get to the goal. That's another reason for the example of saving the money, because there's a goal that you set. Maybe you want to save $15,000 by a certain amount of time. Well, the goal has to be specific. You want to save $15,000. The goal has to be measurable. Measurable is the $15,000. I'm giving you the SMART now. The A is attainable. How am I going to attain that? That's the part I wanted to get to. I'm going to save $100 every pay period until I reach my goal. Now, if you find that you pay something off earlier, you can add to that 100 and make it grow even further. But guess what? When you do that and you're building yourself, I'm telling you, your first $100, you're going to be so excited that you saved it. And it's going to fuel you to keep reaching, to keep going. That's how you practice. You have to fuel yourself. But what are you fueling yourself with? Let's make it something that is, how can I say, what's the word, Dr. Cooley?
Realistic goal. It got to be realistic. You know what? I'm sitting like laughing because I knew it at one point in time where you mentioned $100 or you mentioned this, and like I want to save $100, but I'm making this right here, but I can't save $100 because I like that 8 bags of tater chips, or I like all of this other stuff. I like all this other stuff, so I gotta have that. I gotta have this. But I want to save $100.
What you gotta have is discipline.
That's where I was going with that one, dog.
I'm sorry.
You gotta have discipline, and I'm just gonna end this with one thing. There are what I call things. I have to make sure I'm looking at the right camera now. There are 2 things in life that we have to be able to distinguish between. And one is needs, survival needs. Hear me? You know, hierarchy. Those are needs, Maslow. And there's this other thing called I want it. I want it. Do you need it? No, but I want it. If your wants outnumber your needs and you have the money to take care of your needs and some of the wants, if you let the wants take away from your needs, you're gonna go in debt. But you still gonna get them tater chips, and you still gonna get them cookies, and you probably gonna gain something from it, like weight. But I think that's important that we understand that certain things in life needs is survival, and we can grow, and we can set standards, and we can save money. We can do this. If we go out and just because somebody else got something, want to keep up with the Joneses, whatever that might means, and next thing you know, you're 10, 15, 30. That's how people get in debt. They don't get into debt on the needs. They get in debt on the want. So I got to get that camera because they got one. I gotta get this. Oh, I can't let them outdo me.
I don't think the want is in the sequence.
It's not. Hey, Dr. Stacy, we gotta take this quick commercial. But I had to make that point before we left. I hope you're with me on that one. You know. But we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We still got Dr. Stacy. We ain't done. If you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform you're watching us on, I had to go to the platform, ask any question that you might have. Because I don't even want to leave this conversation right here. But I got to, because I got to pay the bill. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
What if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks you're climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right?
What if all goes right? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I love that song now. I'm gonna go down, put it on one of my YouTube playlists.
I'm gonna have to send it to you. I just had her on the show Thursday. Very good friend of mine, and wow, that would be a perfect yes for your show. I can make it happen.
Right? Right. Well, I was thinking about something. Let me before I forget it. You won't know if it's all going to go right if you don't do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's a part of the sequence, the parts that people try to skip out on. Like I said earlier, that some of us are like toddlers and saying 1, 2, 7, and they skip numbers.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people want to skip something because I didn't get it right the first time.
Mhm.
I was talking to Dr. Michelle yesterday about this topic,
Uh-huh.
and I said when I was in college and I was taking statistics, one day I was sitting at my desk trying to do some homework, and I literally felt like my skin was crying because I did not have the formula to follow the sequence. And because I didn't have the proper formula, I kept missing steps. So my answers kept coming up wrong. But when you find yourself in a position when you've been doing something and you know that those steps work, just keep doing those. Don't change the steps. Don't change the process. It's really so simple that it's hard.
Mhm. And funny you mention that is Dr. Michelle, she just walked in. She had an appointment. She's here right now, and hopefully she'll log on for like 2 minutes and say hello. But um, she loves statistics. Right? Me, that's a challenge. Uh, and doctoral, all my colleges, all that was a challenge to me. Wasn't a challenge to her. I mean, it just. But then, just like you mentioned, um, it's frustrating. Managerial accounting is something that I had problems with when I was going through my executive MBA and couldn't get it right. I woke up nightmares talking about past, present, and future values, right? Because I did not know what the formulas. But one day, I mean, I was laying down and it clicked, and I got
Mm.
then everything started going right, meaning that the formulas. I was like, wow, I didn't miss that. I didn't miss that. I didn't miss that. But believing in yourself and understanding that a lot of times we're gonna have setbacks. Um, Setback, which teaches us in life, I believe, is what we need to do to get on track, to be successful in anything we do. That's why I think that the topic that we're talking about today, following life sequel, but not to a point where you're gonna jump off a bridge. I mean, or you're gonna do this
That's
because
not the sequence.
yeah, because a lot of people just want to follow others, but you have to figure out
Mm.
what works for you.
Mhm.
And in doing that, Dr. States, we only got like 2 minutes left in the show. And I see Dr. Pastor Pierce giving me the thumbs up uh, on that because he understands. Can you close it out to our viewers and tell them exactly what they should have gotten from this absolutely wonderful discussion with you today, and that there will be others, because unless Dr. Stacy fire us, she will be back on us. She's coming back on again. So, close it out, Dr. Stacy. Um, uh, Takeaways.
What you should take away from today, first and foremost, don't give up on yourself. We all, as I've used the word a couple times, get snatched off of the sequence because of various things, because we try to transform into something that we're not. And we transform to areas that don't renew our mind. We got to make sure when we transform that our mind is at this point renewed, because the end result for all of this is hope, is a good future, a prosperous future. But there is a sequence, and we can't get discouraged. That's number two. Don't get discouraged. Look at things that may seemingly not go right. And I'll use divorce as an example because I am a divorced woman, but I learned so much during that marriage. I learned so much about other things, about, first of all, about myself, what not to do to have a successful marriage. I learned that about me, not the other person, about Stacy. I also learned about zoning, construction, because who would have thought that I would be CEO of a nonprofit where I want to need a building, where I need to know about zoning, where I need to know about project management. Um, who thought I would need to know these things about HVAC? I learned so much. So that was part of the sequence. And I learned, guess what I learned so much too? How to study. So don't look at your things that don't make you feel so good as a negative turn in your life. Change your perspective.
Change your perspective. And you know, we are time, but bottom line is your current situation is not your final destination. Let me say that one more time. Your current situation that you might feel like that you in is not your final destination. Dr. Stacey Bulluck, it's always an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And it's going to be many. You already know how we roll. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. She specializes in that, executive producer. But I'd like to thank our viewers, our listeners, for taking the time to tune into the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I also want you to tune in to Tools for Everyday Living with Dr. Stacey Bulluck. YouTube, a lot of different platforms. I believe it's Fridays, every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I tell you what, continue to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's Your Life. We'll see you then.